How's it going, everyone? This is Michael for Spirit Comics, coming at you with the review of the Mighty Thor 701. Now, as I've mentioned before to readers, I like it that now Marvel has back up in the top left-hand corner of their covers the image of who is going to be in the book. In this case, Jane Foster. Well, she's not in this issue. Neither is Odinson. Yet, I think this is Mangog who is walking away as having smashed Midor, the hammer of Jane Foster. And why the ground is brighter where he walks is beyond me. But I'm guessing it's because where he's walking, I don't know. Because the ground to the left is a darker shade of orange. Whereas this is bright yellow. But I do like the night sky. It's reddish, mixed with purple. Kind of reminds me of the Aurora Borealis, I think it is, or the Northern Lights. Anyways, the story is better than the cover. Because it opens up really good. That is, if I can get the pages to turn. Like, we open up with action. A fight going on. It's between Thor and Mangog. Thor throws his warhammer against Mangog, that behemoth right there. And you can see how enraged Mangog is. He wants to kill the person before him. And I'm not even going to try to understand the dialogue because I didn't understand it when I was reading the book. I understood the the narration. But the dialogue between the characters, that was better. Now, Mangog stops his warhammer and sends it back to him, hitting him in the stomach. Ugh! Mangog says, "I do not know you, but you smell like one of them, the Asgardians. You are a god. That is all I need to know." Picks him up like a piece of paper. And throws the Thor so hard you can see how hard he's being thrown. He goes clear through that castle. That's how hard Mangog threw him. And then lands just as hard, causing somewhat of an explosion, you could say. He says, "I am not just a Gog. I am not just a god. I am the Thor." I said Gog. I am not just a Gog. Oh boy. "I am the god of the Bloodstorm. Have at thee, you bastard." And so he lifts his hammer up, his warhammer, and it's infused with lightning. So he uses it to strike, I believe, at Mangog, but Mangog just keeps coming. And he tries his best using his warhammer, but Mangog is like an unstoppable force, almost like Juggernaut. It reminds me of Juggernaut from the X-Men stories, the classic X-Men stories. And then, after all that, Mangog just takes his fist and goes, BAM! Knocks him into the ground. You would think that would knock his head off, because you can't see his head. And the art right here, showing the impact of his fist as it's moving, is really good. Then we're shown a new location and what looks to be like human helicopters. I mean, not just any old helicopters. I mean, these are Roxxon helicopters. Vanaheim is a new location. I'm not sure if I pronounced it right. Realm of the Old Gods. And we, this is I guess, communication back and forth. Strike Team Delta to Roxxon Control. We have engaged the enemy. I repeat, we have engaged the enemy. That's the soldiers on the ground there, and the enemy is kicking our tails. These damn Vanir gods are overwhelming us. We could use some reinforcements down here ASAP. Now, I don't know why they could use some reinforcements, because they have machine guns, and yet they're all huddled together firing against these Vanir gods, I guess that's what they're called, who only have axes and swords. At a distance, these Vanir gods, I believe, could be taken down easy. But that's not what's happening. And they could have at least put two of the soldiers on top of this tank. It looks like it's busted up pretty good, so that there could be a better perspective in which to shoot down the Vanir gods. Anyways, we see down here. Copy that, strike team. Reinforcements en route. Berserker squad deployed. Alright, you maggots. Now this is good. We see that they've got some help on the way. This guy, he looks like he's on steroids or something. And there could have been a little bit more definition to this dude's body and his arms. And the one on top, on the one at the very top, well, they could have at least used another panel for him, because you can't even see a face or even feet. But they tried to fit all three of them in the same panel, and they hit ground. Now they look better. They look like apes, mammoth apes. Get ready to smash some gods. They look like they've been, enhanced with something. Now we see jet fighters, Roxxon jet fighters. Control the Black Rain. We've got gods in the tree line, and our boys are on the ground. They're praying for some holy brimstone. Copy that. Prayers answered, courtesy of 5,000 pounds of napalm. And the Roxxon Energy Corporation, hallowed be thy name. Now the explosion right there, it's wonderful. Look at it. Look at how the fire just continues to rise into the air when those napalm bombs hit the ground. But all we see are the two jets in the upper right hand corner of this panel. At least they could have been shown maybe here at the top flying away, so we could see the jets, or maybe see them flying away in another panel. But just draw them here in the top right hand corner of the panel. I mean, anybody could draw that. I mean, I used to draw stuff like that when I was much younger, in middle school, I think. It just seems, they didn't pay much attention to some of these images here in this book. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Then we go back to see Mangog smashing the face of War Thor again, and he uses his tail to sling him all across the ground into this wall. This castle, and he's got his tail wrapped around his neck. really doing his own to kick this guy's butt. Because he doesn't like him. War Thor is an Asgardian. And then we see War Thor strike back. Enough! Will you fall as always, monster? Or says, you will fall as always, monster. You are no match for the power of my war hammer. Mangog doesn't fear hammers or the cowardly gods who hide behind them. And it took me a little bit, but look at this. SPTTOO. Mangog literally spit at War Thor and knocked a piece of his helmet off using spit. He's got to be one powerful dude. The War Thor is no mere god. You think yourself mighty because you wield the power of a few billion murdered beings? I am charged with the rage of an entire dead universe. Here, Mangog, taste for yourself. And he thrusts his fist right up into Mangog's mouth, breaking his teeth, and you can see how surprised that creature is. Then there's an explosion because the battle is still raging on, and Mangog strikes back, knocking War Thor on his back. Ha ha ha! Tastes like another dead god, and he's filled with energy. The same energy I think that War Thor was using just moments ago to try and defeat him. I mean, he looks like he's bloated or something. And then we see rubble. This is the rubble of the castle that we saw just a few pages back. War Thor says, impossible. I eat the impossible and the omnipotent. I feed on the monsters who hide in heaven. I am the great maggot gnawing its way through the rotting flesh of the unholiest of holies, feeding with the hunger of a billion beings. And I hunger still. And he smashes War Thor into the ground again. He's not giving up. He is like on a rampage. Then our location changes again. This is Nephilim, land of the dead. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. But this looks like a ferry boat, I think. And it washes up on this icy coast. And the person says, I feel so strange. You've just arrived. The feeling will pass, the stranger says. And it's a woman. Arrived? Last thing I remember was the Nornkeep collapsing and the Odinson. Where am I? I am truly and deeply sorry, Queen Carnilla, but welcome to hell. And I saw the movie Thor Ragnarok. Hela, the sister of Thor, was wearing that same type of helmet when she fought Loki, Thor, and everybody else. And Carnilla seems to recognize him. Hell then, I died in that rubble. I am afraid you did. Wait, who are? Balder? Balder the Brave? Is that really you? Aye, Carnilla. Though these days it's King Balder, Lord of the Corpses. Like that makes it all better. I imagine you have many questions, my lady, but I am afraid now is not the time for... Oh, my love, at long last, Carnilla. It was worth it. It was worth dying just to see you again. I've missed you more than I could ever. Easy, boys. What in the name of Norns are those? The guardians of Nestrond. Worry not, they fight for me. Then why are they looking at me like that? I imagine they thought you were attacking their king. They're not used to seeing hugs in hell. Come, my lady, we must. And that's a kind of a funny exchange right there. And whoops. Here we go. All of a sudden these fiery arrows come out from nowhere. Too late. They're here. So this Balder was expecting someone. Run, Cornella. We'll hold them off for as long as we can. Run? Whoever they are, let them come. What's the worst they can do? I'm already dead. Believe me, my dear, there are worse ways to spend eternity. Yes, a voice says. Like burning, ha ha ha. Burn the dead, burn them all. For muscle anthem, for Cinder, the new queen of hell. And I have no idea what those things are supposed to be, but they're kind of funny looking. You know, funny, strange, but I guess they're little, I don't know what they are. But they're powerful beings. And then after that, we go back to the fight between Mangog and Thor. And Mangog is beating him up seriously. I mean, look at those panels. To his face, to his torso, to next his head again, his jaw, his entire face. Then he slams him down against the ground again. And you can see that wham, 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 wham. And Thor drops his war hammer and his helmet falls off. Mangog roars, and all Thor says is, war must stop. The war cannot fall. You are tough for god meat. I will give you that, Mangog says. Perhaps you really do fight with the power of an entire murdered universe. But my rage comes from inside, while yours comes from this. No. The Mangog will never break. What are you? But the same cannot be said for hammers. Now, it would have been nice if there was some background here instead of just a white background. You know, there was background in these other panels, but there's nothing here. That's, making me wonder, why? Why is there no background? Because then we go to the next page and Mangog beats him up more even after he's pretty much beaten already. You can see how bloody Thor is. And he releases him, and now he's lost his helmet. His beard is covered in blood. No. How did you? No more hammer. He rears back his fist. Thor not moving. And it seems like he strikes, but then someone strikes back against Mangog. And it's 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 someone, but you know, and now we can see how much more bashed is that castle that was the place of their battle. Now, where are they? Where are the Asgardians? Gone, all gone, Warthor says. No, if they were dead, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have risen. Where are they? You still have a few bones that haven't been broken yet. Tell me. Never. And then another voice says, it's called Asgardia. And they're all there. All your old favorites, including All Father Odin himself. All waiting for you. This mysterious person says. And Mangog looks at him, says, where? Big golden city floating near Saturn. You can't miss it. Like, this guy's like, he reminds me of Loki, but I'm pretty sure that's not Loki. Cause he's just smiling there, joking. And you are not a god, thus not your concern. Then don't get in my way. He says, oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Help, Warthor says. I'm changing. I can't hold. And of course, I get the impression this is not a nice guy. And not a good person. Because he says, oh, why bother holding on? There's nothing here for you anymore. And he says, hello, War Thor. I'm that war you've been looking for. And he's holding this dagger, while War Thor is barely holding on to the edge of the cliff. I mean, he should have fallen before now, because look at this guy. He's huge. He weighs a lot, so he should have fallen long ago, I think, off of the cliff. And I think, because we're not, somehow we see, I'm thinking he dropped that dagger, which caused, he dropped the dagger, and it fell into Warthor's wrist, so he fell off of the cliff and now drifting through space, while Mangog is going to find Asgardia. And I think that the narration was by this guy, but I'm sorry to tell you that like I said, the narration, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't understand. It was confusing to me, so why bother with the narration? But what I wanted to show you is this. Next, Mighty Thor 702, Revolution in Heaven. Shows a picture of Jane Foster, who is the female Thor. Then the Mighty Thor 703, The Fall of Asgard. Odin's son apparently will be in that one. So I wanted to show you this picture. There is hope for the original Thor to return. So while the artwork was so in some places, it was bang on in other places. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this review as well. The dialogue between the between War Thor and the Mangog. It was basic, but it was, entertaining. It was not as good as issue 700, but hopefully there'll be more good stories to come in the future from the mighty Thor, hopefully including Odinson. And this is all centering around Jane Foster, because she is struggling with cancer, and the only thing that keeps her alive is the hammer, Midror. So did you like this issue or did you not like it? Leave me a comment below, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the bell like She-Hulk. Like the video and share it so others can enjoy it as well. That would be a great help. So till next time, true readers.